Hey, welcome everybody to the weekly live stream at the e-commerce alley. Today's gonna be good. We're gonna be looking at ads from a copy and creative standpoint, but if you don't know, I'm Josh Coffee, like the drink, but more caffeinated, and I'm the founder of the e-commerce alley, and with me I have my brother, Jacob Coffee, who is sitting in an entirely different studio. Entirely different
in a
studio.
different building. We're not in the same room at all.
Here, do you want to hold hands? No, I'm just hey, good to have all of you. And if you're catching the replay, just drop #replay in the comments so we kind of know who watches actual replays. I don't know. Do people actually watch replays in groups? I think people do because we get comments later in the evening. But if you are, drop it in there.
Differently now. You used to live on the event, but now if we stream the page, it kind of tucks in a little bit. So if you catch the replay, yeah, let us know.
Yes. Well, it's good to have you with us. If you could just kind of drop in the little chat box. Where are you? Where are you watching from?
I know Mike Leach is here. He was the first one to comment in here.
I expect nothing less from the great Mike Leach.
And Mike Leach is actually local to us, I believe. I know Emma Thompson's hanging out with us as well. And then, as always, you have Andrew on our team and Dylan, the wonderful producer behind the scenes. Miss Carrie Punches, BJ Solomon, good to see you all. We have Miss Alice Bowden, all the way in the UK, which is about 5 p.m. there. So good tuning in. Rock and roll.
Sweet. Yes. And Emma, we have a session later today, which is going to be good. All right. So just to kind of walk through what this is going to look like. This may take the whole hour. It might not take the entire hour. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of kind of teaching, walking through, giving you like the lens in which we're gonna look at these ads through, and then we're gonna look at some different ads inside the Facebook ads library. Now, I will say, talking about ad copy and ad creatives is not as attractive as talking about campaign structures and what structure do I need to do to get the best results. But here's the thing, like, it is the most important thing. Your ad and your offer are the most important thing when it comes to Facebook advertising. Like, we like to think there's a magic bullet campaign that if I just do this campaign, it just flips a switch and everything starts working. But if you don't have good ads and they're not done properly in a way that moves people to buy, then it doesn't matter the campaign structure. Your ads are gonna suck. And so my goal here is to make our ads suck just a little bit less. And so what I wanna first talk through here is two different lenses we look at things. So when we're looking at the messaging, right? We're looking at the copy. A lot of times we try to be really witty. We try to to drive like these clicks, right? We think in a lot of terms of clickbait, right? That's an easy one we all know. Clickbait is where we're saying things that are really, really witty or catchy or clever, but the problem is a lot of times that can hurt what we call the intent. So it can actually really hurt the intent of the ad. And so what we need to do is we need to find this balance between intent and intrigue. Okay, so they're kind of one of four areas you're gonna fall into. So intent means if somebody is clicking on this ad, do they have an intent to purchase something? And usually, if you look at intent, on the very high end of intent, this is where the high end, like if we're kind of up here, what this means is this is the product, you buy it or you don't. There's no degree of like ambiguity about what this is. This is the product, buy it or don't. And then on the other end, we have things that might be highly intriguing, where you have a picture of a baby or a puppy, and it's highly intriguing, yet it doesn't have a high degree of intent because we still don't know what the product actually is. And so we need to find where we are in this quadrant. So if I were to look at this, I'm gonna say red zone is right here. If your ads have no degree of intent, meaning they're very hard to understand, that you don't really know what it is, and they're not very intriguing, so they don't really stop the scroll, this is red. This is not a place that we want to be. It usually means the ads are generally not going to perform very well. So this is red right in here. Now, if I'm looking at a high degree of intrigue, it means like, hey, I have a product that's very intriguing, or the creative or the copy is very intriguing, but it doesn't have a high degree of intent, meaning if someone clicks on it, they're not clicking to buy, they're clicking because they're just intrigued by the messaging of your ad, then this is what we would call a meh face, all right? So meh faces in here These are going to be more, I would call it gold, or they're going to be more, let me make this yellow here. So these are more yellow, right? A little bit more yellow in here. Like if we have enough intrigue, we could drive enough volume to move the needle, but I would say it is kind of hard to do that. And then in the top left quadrant, we have a high degree of intent. So if I said, this coffee mug from Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters, right? This is one of our clients. This coffee mug, like it's a white photo, and this is the coffee mug, and the headline says, Freedom Hill Coffee Roasters white coffee mug. That's a high degree of intent. There's no question about it. There's nothing really intriguing about this. It's a coffee mug with the name of it, right? That's what we'd say high degree of intent, but not a high degree of intrigue. Kind of boring, honestly. So I would say this is more of a yellow as well. Maybe we'll add a little bit of like a smirk here on the end, or maybe like a cracked smile, right? Because like I would rather have a high degree of intent with less intrigue than a high degree of intrigue with less intent, because a high degree of intrigue with less intent drives a lot of volume, but it's not very intense. So your conversion goes down, and that signals to Facebook that it's not super relevant, and that can hurt you in the long run. But the place we really all want to live is we have ads that are both intriguing and drive a high degree of intent. This, my friends, is, oh, make money eyes here. This is where we really want to live. So what I want to know from you right now, with your ads, where do you feel you are in your ads? Like, do you feel like your ads are intriguing? Like, hey, like it's really scroll stopping ads that I have that I'm running right now. They're really intriguing, but they're not super intent driven. So what I want you to do is drop red light, yellow light, green light. Like as far as your ads go, do you feel like they have no intent, no intrigue? That would be red light. If you think they're like, they're kind of like, okay, they're performing okay, they're kind of like, okay, a little bit, put yellow, and then drop green light if you're like, hey, my ads are doing well, I'm producing results in here, I believe I have a high degree of intent, like it's very clear what's being sold, but they're also stopping the scroll as well. So where do you feel you're at? Red light, yellow light, green light. When it comes to, drop that in the chat box, when it comes to like your messaging and understanding your ads, if you're running ads right now.
BJ made a comment. She says, I think ads are sexier than campaign structures.
It just depends on who you're talking to, I guess.
It depends on who you're talking to.
Well, when we do a campaign structure live stream, way more people show up, I'll tell you that.
Cool. Well, we have Miss Leslie Leslie Chang is in the yellow zone. Miss Emma's green, rock and roll.
Good.
Miss Alice is in the yellow. BJ's the green light, and some might be in the twilight zone.
Some might be in the twilight. Here's my goal. My goal is today for you to bump one color. So if you're red, I want you to get yellow. If you're yellow, I want you to get green. If you feel like you're green, I want you to become even brighter green. And maybe today is going to kind of unlock a little bit more of that. So let me just give you a few examples here. So right here, these are, let me erase these here. So if I was to look at this product here, this is an example of, this is someone with our bootcamp once, and they gave me this and they let me use this as an example. I think this was a great example. So if I was to use this right here in this image, and then it said grow like a garden, the question would be, okay, if I'm looking on the intent, and the intrigue scale, where would we kind of find, where would we probably sit on here if we're looking on it? So if we have intrigue, right, and we have, they're both INTs. That's probably not a good example. Let's go, I'll spell out intent. An intent going up here. So if we're looking at this and I was to place a dot on this area, I would probably say it's probably, if I'm looking at the quadrants here, it's probably in this bottom left quadrant, or it's probably this bottom left quadrant, or maybe even the intriguing but not very intent driven. And the reason I say that is because I don't know what grow like a garden is. That's very intriguing, it's very clever, it's kind of witty, but I don't really know what that means. Like, what does this mean? And when I look at these products, I also may not know, what are these products? Are these cleaning products? Are these for my house? Are they
garden
for my
fertilizer?
Garden, a good one, right? Garden. So it's this garden fertilizer that I'm looking at here. So what actually is this? And so what I did was I just added a greater degree of intent to these. So we can be really clever with our stuff, and sometimes we're like, oh, that'd be a funny headline or be a funny creative to make. But if people don't know what it is, then you're gonna lack the intent, and then usually that's when the conversion goes down, and it eventually your ads start to like crash and burn. So I just threw in a couple examples here. So maximize hair growth without harmful chemicals. So this is probably more on the intent side. We're being very specific. Hey, accomplish this outcome without this pain point. This one is a little bit on the intrigue / fun, right? Curl friends. So it's kind of calling out your ideal customer, right? The ultimate wash and go kit. Okay, maybe a little bit more intent, maybe playing a little bit more on the intrigue side of it. And then this one is just straight, intent, right? This would be in the upper left quadrant where I'm like, hey, the ultimate curl collection, 32% off limited time. Like, it's very clear there is a sale happening here. This isn't like a blog or a tutorial video on curls and managing the curls of your hair. It's not that. It's pretty intent driven. And so this is one of the lenses that we will look through as we go through the copy, making sure that, hey, we're very clear with what this is. And it's intent driven, but if we can be intriguing at the same time, that's kind of the zone we'd want to live in. But if we can't, then we would rather usually move to being very intent driven with our ads. Okay, so the other line that we're going to look at here from a creative standpoint is I'm going to look at cleverness versus clarity. So when I look at a creative, whether it's an image or a video, do I know for an image what's being sold right away and very easily? Or if it's a video, do I know what's being sold right away and very easily in the first 5 seconds, right? So video and image, if I'm looking at these. So if I look at this one right here, does anyone know what is being sold here? Drop in the chat, what do you think is being sold here? And I'll just write them down.
I think that is a great ad for double camp chairs.
All right, we have camp chairs.
Or dog adoption agency, who knows?
Okay, we'll go adoption. That's actually good. I actually would not have thought of that. Is this for like Yeti? You know, I see Yeti in the background.
Or, I mean, I think it's a good... Oh, Jason Carey dropped in campsite
Look,
rental.
there is a little light on here. I saw collar with light. All right, does anyone know what this actually is?
It's tense. It's got to be tense.
It's got to be tense, right? So this is Dylan. What is this for?
He said it's an intense ad.
It's a very intense ad. It is actually a dog collar company. So, prime example of, hey, might have a high degree of maybe not cleverness, maybe like we're just playing on the fact that it has dogs in it, so it's not gonna drive a lot of intrigue, a little bit of intent. This is actually a dog collar brand. Let's go to this one right here.
And I want to call out Alan Meyer in the comments who got that. He actually said dog collars with lights. Hey, you must play, Alan, you played a lot of Where's Waldo growing up, and I know it.
Yes.
It just showed.
He was always the standout in the crowd.
Yeah.
Speaking of Where's Waldo, this is a sideshow. I just saw a meme, I think I sent it to you, and it said, well, I found Waldo, but there's not good news. And it's literally just
a gravestone that says,
a gravestone that says Waldo. I found Waldo, but the news isn't good. I got good news and I got bad news. That was it. I don't know if anybody else played that growing up. Okay, so let's look at this one right here. Now this was a little easier because it has the name right on the front of it, but like, if you were to look at this, and by the way, Kimberly, I love you. I just use this as an example because Kimberly's ads look much better now and really great. I wanted to pull this as an example here. Okay, so if we're looking at this, do we know what is like obviously it's a box, right? Do we know what's in the box? Well, is it is this an ad for, is it the box? Is this an ad for like the dress? Is this like maybe photography services? And I like to be extreme in this, looking at this. Is this for this nice plush white rug? Maybe it's a rug that is here. So this right here is this is a subscription box and it's called Book and Bear. You actually get to build your own stuffed animal and there is a book that goes with it and it comes in this box every single month delivered to the kids. And so looking at this from the outside, you wouldn't know it. Now, by the way, Kimberly is one of our clients in our mentorship program, and I'm gonna show some of her ads today that now have a great degree of clarity, and Kimberly is on fire. So we have this, and then I'm gonna look down here, pulling out the dogs. And by the way, I pull these from clients that we work with because I know them and I love them, and they know what I'm gonna say here. So if you look at this one, it would also ask the question, okay, what is this? Is this being clever? Is this being clever, or is this more on the lines of like clarity? Do I have a high degree of clarity of what's being sold here? And so I would ask the question, hey, is this for the harness? Is this for this little, is that thigh? I don't know what that is. We've got a little tag here. Is it for this, whatever that's called? I forget what it's called, the little hand leash. I forget what those are called though. Is it for the collar here, or is it just like the disapproving thoughts of this dog, right? So
The dog, it looks like it's judging me.
yeah, I know.
Pretty
It definitely
hard,
feels like I'm being judged right here. So there's a lot of stuff happening, and Leslie's asking the same thing: harness, collar, leash. So this is what I mean. So when we're looking at this, one of the greatest things you could do for your ads is create a great degree of clarity with them, in a high degree of intent. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I met with a client on Monday. They're spending over $200,000 per month on and it's a book company. So they're spending over $200,000 per month. I know it's pretty crazy, high spend thresholds. And they're getting stuck with their cost per acquisition. And I said, well, let's just sit down for 30 minutes on Zoom. Let's look at the ads. I looked at the ads. I had no idea that it was a book in the creatives that they were using. I couldn't even tell that it was a book. It didn't even say the word book in the headlines, and it said it at the very bottom of the primary text. You had to hit see more on. So I said, hey, tweak this, high degree of clarity, show the book, call attention in the headline. It is a book, use the word book, and then outline the offer in the primary text. I got a voice memo from her, this like literally as I was walking in here, that said all of our cost per acquisitions cut in half in the last 3 days since she rolled all that stuff out on Monday evening or Tuesday morning. I forget what day they made it go live. I share this because it's a big deal. Really look through that lens. So as I'm looking at the ads, I just want you to know, I'm gonna be looking at these ads through the lens of, do I actually know what's being sold? And I'm gonna play extreme devil's advocate here. And as I do, I would love for you to help. Drop in the comments any questions you might have or objections if you're looking at the ads that I'm looking at as well. So if you're good to go, then drop in the chat "judge away" and we will type "judge away" and we're all gonna come in and judge these ads.
I don't think that's one of our trigger keywords in the group.
Oh shoot,
but
that's not a
that's
trigger
okay.
keyword.
Still drop "judge away" if we're ready to rock and roll.
Or drop "get judged" and then we're all gonna go judge these ads.
Drop
Get
Judge Judy
judged.
in the comments.
We want Judge Judy
How many
in the
judge
comments.
variations can we get?
If we get Judge Judy in the comments, we're gonna. All right, cool. Hey, sometimes we just gotta have fun. All right. Now, all of this is said in love, and my hope is to make you more money. That is the objective here. That is the objective of Facebook ads. Okay, so the first one that I have here is native maps. So I'm in the ads library, which by the way, if we have time, and we may not have time, you know what? I'm looking at how many I have in here. We may not have time. Never mind. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look through this, and I'm not gonna open it up, and I want you to ask any questions you might have about the ad as we look at this. So let me zoom in here. So we have native maps, and I'm just gonna let's go to this left one here. And it says after 2,000 plus, and by the way, I'm gonna tell you where I feel the ... see more is gonna be. After 2,000 plus reviews, here's what our customers love most: space. The quality and incredible attention to detail, more like ... It's probably gonna ... right about there. All right, great. So now that we know 2,000 plus reviews, what our customers love most, the quality, incredible attention to detail, more like the piece of, and then it's probably gonna ... likely even before it says the word art, then a poster in here. Headline: surprisingly satisfying purchase. And then let's look at this copy here, or this creative. All right. Ooh, I like that. That's great. 60 plus cities. Okay, I gotta give props. I think minimal designs. Okay, I'm gonna say I think this right here is a fantastic creative. This is an awesome creative. Holding it up right out of the gates kind of shows you all the different states immediately. Like, you get the idea of what it is. So I'm gonna say this creative is pretty, it is clever. I would say it's clever, but it's also pretty clear too. Like, I have a good degree of what I know is happening inside of the creative within those first 5 seconds. All right, headline. I'm gonna say this is maybe on the low end of intent and intrigue. If I'm looking at those quadrants, intent and intrigue, this is bottom left quadrant for me. Surprisingly satisfying purchase. Now here's what I'll say. If, I forget, I think was it David? Did David drop this in here? Native Maps?
Yes, I believe
Was that
so.
David? So what I would say is, David, you may have, and if you ever ran an ad lab, one of our methodologies, you might find that sometimes reviews can give what we call false positives, where like reviews can sometimes, because you have emojis like stars in it, can like get clicks and stuff like that, but it doesn't also create a great degree of intent. So we like to tuck those down in the primary text. If I look at surprisingly satisfying purchase, it's kind of vague. I don't really know exactly what it is, but what if this said, get a, so let's see, the perfect gift, personal, thoughtful, cherished, personal touch, conversation starter, piece of art. Okay, so what I'm gathering here is find your city map now. So it would be, I would rather, you already have a very intriguing creative. I'd rather get real intent driven on this headline. And I'd rather say, personalized, so find your city, get your personalized city map now, or personalized city maps for all states. Something like that. It's very clear that it is personalized, that is your city map, or get your city map today. Something along the lines of, I'm gonna call attention to exactly what this is. Like just straight to it, because this creative does a great job of doing that. Now in the primary text, above the see more, we call this the hook, before it goes ... I still don't really know it's being sold. So it's playing a lot on the proof of like 2,000 plus reviews, the quality, but I still don't know it's being sold. So I'm gonna try above the fold to try to say, hey, why don't we, like, even conversation starter, get ready for this to be the no focal point of your home or office. I'd rather lead with that and put 2,000 plus reviews from raving customers further down below the see more. Like, let's get real clear on it so we sell them on what it is, and then the reviews and the proof and the testimonials are gonna sell them on the actual transaction, right? It's gonna validate that for them. So this creative is fantastic. I think the copy from a messaging standpoint, I think it's like not even intriguing or not I mean, once you go below the see more, maybe a little bit, but I mean, maybe some question. I don't know if anyone else has any questions on this of what it is, but you know, I would have questions on like, how many, like, do I get to pick my own color when it says personalized? Does that mean I have to like, do I have my family name on the bottom of it? What does personalized actually mean? Is it just like I choose the size and the color and the city? Is that the only thing? Do you have all cities, right, in the United States? Do you have cities outside of that?
So those are to choose the frame. I mean, that's.
Do I get to choose the frame?
Types of frames
So like calling attention, if we're leaning into the personalized experience, like just outline what that looks like versus leading with the proof. So rather than leading with like, hey, we're the best, and here and they think we're the best, and we're the best from 2,000 people. Oh, by the way, here's what we are. I'd rather say, here's what we are. Does this connect with you? Here's why we're the best. You see what I mean? So I'm just gonna literally flip the order in which you're positioning your messaging here. Let's go down. Satisfying, let me look at this creative. Meet your new conversation piece. These are really cool. Like, this is a really neat product. Love this video. This creative too, it shows the 3 colors. It has a great degree of contrast between them, which I think is fantastic. You can kind of see it in here. No, this is good, and it looks like you're using the same copy. So if I was to build the perfect campaign, let me tell you what I would do right now. I would use 3 very unique ads, and I would put all of them in an Advantage Plus shopping campaign. So if you want like the perfect, you have 3 already, here's what I would do. Get a piece of copy that is tailored. It's a unique piece of primary text and unique headline for this. Then do the same thing for this, and then do the same thing for this. So 3 different primary texts, 3 different headlines. You already have 3 different creatives. Go more intent driven on the copy, because your creatives are pretty intriguing to me. Like, they stop the scroll for me. So I'm gonna go intent on the copy. You have the creatives will stop the scroll. The copy is then gonna validate what the creative is and decide if they're gonna take action or not. If I would do that, take all 3 of these, throw this in an Advantage Plus shopping campaign, 10% retargeting, you'd probably be in good shape. All right, bada bing, bada boom. Number 1,
Good
done.
stuff.
Any feedback in the comments?
Nothing so far from comments, but yeah, David's been plugged into the community, so we appreciate you submitting and letting us kind of dive into it a little bit.
Heck yeah, yo, these are really cool. I love these. These definitely are conversation pieces, and they really stand out for sure.
And if I recall, because I've gotten a chance to chat with David before too, I think he also has a whole other line that dives into like national parks and a lot of cool stuff on that side.
Yes.
There's a lot of cool products, so you can definitely pop over to Native Maps and check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Ooh, that would be another interesting thing to try. Definitely leaning into like parks and stuff like that, only because like let's say it shows Chattanooga and it shows like Baltimore or something like that, and I'm from Ohio and I don't resonate right away, but maybe more people resonate with the parks because there's less of them, especially if you did some main ones. Anyway, side note.
Cool.
Good stuff, good stuff. All right, let's move to the teeny greeny. So this is our favorite Alice Bowden, all the way from the UK. Been working with Alice for a good amount of time. So Alice, it's always good to see your stuff in here. Okay, let's pop in here. All right, so the teeny greeny. Our microgreen kits require only moments of care for weeks of fresh organic greens. The ideal green life for any busy life. And then it's probably gonna go ... right after this. Only because there is no space in here and it's all together. Then we have this image, or this video. So I see greens right out of the gates. I don't know, hold on, let me see. I'm not sure if Alice is. Okay, so Alice is actually talking in this. You can't hear it, but Alice is kind of talking through this right now and saying like, here's this and here's what it is. So we have that, and then perfect for any occasion. There's some stuff I'm really liking here, and there's some stuff that I would slightly tweak. So first, most people don't watch with sound on Alice. On the creative, I think the creative is great because it gets right to the point in this video right away. Like, I see the product versus like you talking about the product for like 38 seconds and then they see the product. I see the product right out of the gates. This is I love this. Only thing I would do, I would add captions so that way people can see you, like see what's happening without hearing what's happening in case they don't watch with audio on, which a lot of people don't. So most people go to the creative, headline, back up to the primary text. So I'm gonna go through this process. Creative, I would just tweak this, add some subtitle here. Perfect gift for any occasion. To me, I'm gonna ask a question. Do most people that buy microgreens, do they buy it as a gift or do they buy it for themselves? They might buy it as a gift. That might be a gifting thing. If so, then maybe worth leaning into the gift from that regard. I would say perfect gift for any occasion is kind of like, it's not very precise. I still don't know what's being sold right out of the gates. Even with the video, I don't know right away what's being sold. The primary text would definitely help, but like maybe even trying to get the word microgreen kits inside the headline somewhere if you can. But perfect gift for any occasion, I'd say that's more in like maybe intriguing, but it's not very, I don't know exactly what the product is right out of the gates. So I might workshop that a little bit. I do like, so this is more on the clever side. I do really like this though. It's the gift to yourself that keeps on giving. So if this is like gift to yourself, it almost makes it sound like gifting to yourself. So gift to yourself is like a phrasing, but like the perfect gift for any occasion, if it's for yourself, you may not phrase it like that. I don't know if that makes sense. Here's what I think is really good. This is wonderful primary text. This above the fold, our microgreen kits require only moments of care for weeks of fresh organic greens, the ideal green gift for any busy life. Boom, microgreen kits called out right out of the gates. Only moments of care, so I don't have to spend a lot of time on it for fresh organic greens. That's speaking to my outcome that I want. The ideal green gift for any busy life, which is the pain that I'm experiencing. And then you go on to then itemize a couple different things here. Tastes delicious, highly nutritious. Oh, we're rhyming. I like that. Ready in 7 to 10 days, 100% plastic free, 1% for the year. This is great. And then you have proof in here, and then you have a call to action. Alice, I love that we worked together so long that like your stuff is so good. This is, I would not even touch this primary text. This primary text is fantastic. Creative, I would just add an overlay of subtitles in here. I might workshop the headline just a little bit. Let me just watch this one really quick here. So this is great. This is like, you get to see the product in action and it stops the scroll for sure. Not just any greens, our microgreens come with a big purpose. Enhance your meals with nutrition-packed greens that support your health and the planet, and then similar stuff below the fold. I think this, I like this one even more. This is right away showing me what it is. Let me just scroll down here. And I think this is your, yeah, so you get, whenever you see stuff in action like this, it's just entertaining. So this is great. And then it looks like you have some proof in here. You get to see the product in action, like actual finished product here. Grow all year round, no garden required. This creative's fantastic. Free gift with purchase. I would probably just clarify what the free gift is. So like, what is the free gift with purchase? Is it like a free pot? Is it free plant? Is it free microgreen plant food? By the way, I'm a little ignorant, so I don't know exactly what comes, like what it takes to grow because I haven't done it. But I would just clarify the free gift in here. All right. This is good. This is really good though. Like Alex, your stuff is really fantastic here. I'm not gonna go through every single one of them. Perfect gift for any occasion. I would ask the question, is this a gift that people buy for others or themselves? And who do you ideally want to attract? Because if you're in the space, like even subscription boxes, let's say a lot of people buy your subscription box, they gift for somebody else. Ask yourself the question, do I want a lot of people who only buy me as a gift for somebody else and then they don't renew? Or they don't buy more stuff, or am I trying to find the customer that buys for themselves and they're a green thumb and they care about their nutrition and their health, but they're busy and they like the convenience of being able to do this on their own, and they like the fact that maybe they could subscribe and you could ship them stuff, or they could buy more and then they don't have to do the work. So I would ask the question, who is the ideal customer you want to work with, whether it's gifting or whether it's not. All right, everyone raise the roof, drop a plant emoji for Alice with the teeny greenie. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Okay, let's hop into BJ Solomon with Camp Corral's affordable portable products. All right, here we go, BJ. And I know that BJ, you dropped in here green on your ads. So my goal is to get you to bright green here and see what we could maybe clarify and start to work on. All right. So everyone drop in the chat. Do you know what this is? Right out of the gates, look into these two ads. I'll keep them side by side here. Do you know what's being sold here? In like 10 seconds or less. Scale of 1 to 10. 1, I don't know what's being sold here. 10, I know exactly what's being sold here. Drop that in the chat. Let's see what the crowd thinks.
I know we also have to remove our bias because if we know,
yeah, we know BJ sells, so we have to look through that lens.
We know BJ sells, so we have to remove
and
it.
I encourage everybody here, like when you're looking at your own stuff, pretend you know nothing about your business. You have no clue. You've never heard of you before. Look through that lens. It'll help you tremendously.
Looks like we have. So Jason said temporary horse corral. Emma said the fence thing. Patricia said fence ? And then Jason had a 7. Mike Leach is a 10. Chels is a 1, Kareem is a 1, and then we have...
We've got a mixed bag here.
And I believe it's pronounced Prabhu, but again, if I'm mispronouncing that, please correct me, but he says farm equipment. So we have a kind of a different variation of things here.
Okay, so so when I'm looking at this right out of the gates, free shipping, 50% off. This one just shows the corral here, where I see campcorrals.com, so... let me just look through a couple of these. We have video, 3-rail or 2-rail, built-in, electric, and safe and easy. So if I'm looking at these right here, so the hard part is like, if BJ, you were to just take the corral and put that on a white background, most people wouldn't know what it is. So for you, you're gonna have to have probably horses in here to connect the dots very quickly for people. So if I'm looking at the creatives, I'd say the right one is more intent. Like I know more what this is. This one I could definitely see like there's other stuff going on in the background, but also this scene might resonate with your ideal customers more. So I'm kind of indifferent on them only because of that as of right now. All right, now for the headline. So creative, I'd say it falls in the like, it kind of falls maybe under both. Like it's intriguing, but it has a little bit of intent with it. So I'm kind of like hovering the line there. From a headline standpoint, who do you know needs this? That is more on the clever side and less on the clarity side. I want to call attention to exactly what these are. Because, for example, if somebody, and I don't know if you're like me, but if you see something and you really like it and you have a friend group or a spouse or a significant other, what do? You forward it to them or you tag them in it, right? I have like 50 reels a day forwarded to me from all my usually memes and my wife Kelsey, every time she sees something that's like, oh, this isn't Santorini, Greece. Well, you know, Josh, she's just dropping hints. We should go here. We should buy this. We should do this. We should add this to the house, right? So I would say instead of asking who do you know needs this, if they know someone, they're gonna send it to them. So instead, let's use this real estate to really call attention with great clarity to what the product is. So I'm gonna go up here and read this so we all have a little bit more context. Is it possible to have a love affair with your portable corral. Imagine arriving at your next competition and within minutes your horses are safely contained, or saying goodbye to the hassle of holding a lead rope while your horse grazes. Okay, let's pause for a moment. Wow, is that a tangible experience? I haven't experienced it, but I'm imagining being the ideal customer. I can see why you're green because I know BJ, we work with BJ, so I know how that could resonate with somebody. I love, is it possible to have a love affair with your portable corral? This is taking up a lot of space. You know what I'd rather do? I would rather use the word portable corral in here, in the headline right out of the gate. So they're gonna see the creative, they're gonna pop down to the headline to clarify the creative, and they're gonna see customized portable corrals or something that has the word portable corral in there, just to really clarify. Let me see if you put anything else in here. Innovative corral solutions. Who do you know needs this? Yeah, I'm gonna lean into, by the way, if you, and BJ, before you go make these changes, keep your ads running because I know you're getting good results. So don't touch the ads, but I'm telling you the next round, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say, hey, how do I call attention to portable camp corrals? How do I, even if it was just that, customized portable camp corrals or portable, because they can customize them and add in the electric, I know, and stuff like that. So if you're able to do that, let's maybe put that in the headline, clarify that. Now in the copy, here's what I would say. You're title casing each one of the words in here. The only place we generally will title case is when we're doing a headline like this, or if we're doing a bulleted list. So like teeny greeny with the emoji and then the call out to the bulleted list, right? With the emojis as the bullets. In that case, we would also title case because those are treated pretty much as headlines. So when it's all title cased, it can be a lot of text and hard to read. So I would say ultimately, here's what I would lead with. This is great. I would lead with, imagine arriving at your next competition within minutes, your horses are safely contained, or saying goodbye to the hassle of holding a lead rope while your horse grazes. That's so good. And then I would space this out a little bit. Add another line and a space in here and say plus, so versatile. You can use this pen for maybe even you could just say, you can use this pen for minis, ponies, mules, goats. That's the power of the portable electric panels. And then I would consider bulleting some of the other things. Maybe even that. Maybe bullet it and then say like, used for minis, ponies, mules, and goats. And that's one bullet. And then the other one says portable electric add-ons. Maybe, I don't know if you can add it on or if it comes with everything, but I would call attention to that. If you have free shipping, then just have that as a bullet point. If you want to add the extra $25 off when you use app 20, add that as a bullet point instead. So we can like condense this copy and make it skimmable because most people are skimmers, they're not readers. So instead I would say, how do we clean this up? And then the final thing I would do here is I am going to remove the hashtags in here. And to be honest, unless you get a lot of call, I mean, if they're gonna call, they're probably gonna click to your website and they're gonna call from your website versus the ad. So I would consider focusing the attention on shopping and finding the corral that's best for them. And if they need to call you, they'll find that and they'll just call you on the website. So I would work on just consolidating and condensing this and then clarifying the headline here. I think this is gonna get you from green to a bright green. All right, cool. Any thoughts on that, Jake?
No, I love it.
Any comments on that?
A lot of comments around obviously the video, having a video. I know someone put, you know, a time-lapse type videos and just a lot of cool stuff to test with video content. So we did get a good couple of comments around it.
All right, good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Now I'm going to close out with one more here, and I'm going to jump to a subscription box. So Kimberly with Book and Bear that I showed earlier, she let us use one of those images as just an example, but I want to show you some of the ads that she has right now that have a much higher degree of intent and clarity in what they are. So let's hop to Book and Bear right here. And I'm just gonna press play so we all have a gist. Let's look at the creative here. Okay, we're zooming in on the box here. Kids opening the box. We have a little text that walks through some of the selling points and exactly what it is. The kid's holding it up. So immediately we have a connection to the fact that this is for a child. It is a subscription box. The kid's building its her own little dinosaur here. You can see like the reaction. So like to me, that like this creative, let me look at this one here. Wonderful. In those first 2 seconds, the box is open and then we're pulling out product. And we have 2 kids here now. So wonderful videos. These creatives are really, really awesome here. Now let's kind of go down to the headline. Spark your kids' imagination afresh with Book and Bear. I'm looking at the creative. I think the creative is great. I don't know if I would honestly touch the creative. I really like the creative. Primary text here, or headline. Spark your kids' imagination with afresh with Book and Bear. Unbox a world of wonder for your animal lover. I would definitely say these are more on the intriguing side, less intent, only because I don't know. So for example, I know what Book and Bear is. Someone could perceive this potentially as improper grammar, right? Spark your kids' imagination afresh with Book and Bear versus a book and a bear.
Yeah,
do you see what I mean? So Book and Bear is the brand. So someone may look at this and be like, oh, they're not using proper grammar. But you know that you're Book and Bear, right? So I love Spark Your Kids' Imagination. I love leaning into that. Unbox a World of Wonder. I really like that. That's really intriguing for your animal lover. I don't know if I have a way that I might add more to this on the intent side. Let me hop up here and see if this kind of clarifies some of the intent. Warning, our stuffed animal subscription box with new books may cause squeals of delight from your kids when they arrive on your doorstep. So this to me, by the way, top right quadrant, intriguing and it is intent driven. Warning, okay, that's right, that's gonna stop the scroll. Our stuffed animal subscription box, boom, what it is, intent, with new books, even clarified, may cause squeals of delight from your kids when they arrive on doorstep. So now the parent is imagining the outcome that they'll experience when they buy this product. And then the creative is speaking right to showing the reaction of the kid. And then we have the proof right in here. So I think this primary text, fantastic. This one, we're sorry. This box is not for kids who don't like animals or crafting new toys or books. But if your kiddo loves animals, they'll love their Book and Bear boxes. It's the exciting kids subscription box with the stuffy to hand build, and then it kind of calls attention to different types of stuff in here. This is good. It'll probably ... somewhere around here, I would say, if not even right before it gets here. So it might just be this above the fold. This is definitely intriguing. I love the whole anti-copy approach. It'll cause squeals of delight, but in this one, it's like, it's not for kids who don't like. So it's just like, this is for kids who like animals crafting. I love it. It's kind of different. It stops you because it makes you think, when you see not, it's like, whoa, why are they saying not? So I really enjoy that. It does give a great degree of clarity here. Unbox a world of wonder for your animal lover. Honestly, I don't know if there's a crazy amount I would change in some of these ads. I do know it's a lot of video. So video, I'm gonna gather video is definitely working the best for you. And then you have an offer sitting in here. This one creates a lot of clarity too. So join the Book and Bear Readers Club, 40% off. Honestly, Kimberly, I just wanted to show this to give you a shout out because I think this is fantastic, honestly. I don't know if there's a whole lot that I would add right at this moment because I think you hit the nail on the head with the intrigue and you hit it on the head with the intent. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I honestly don't have any super tangible feedback. I could say, go do this and say this and do this. Unless you don't have, let me just double check. Unless you don't have subtitles, I would throw subtitles on. Even though they're talking, subtitles is going to help. Again, a lot of people don't watch with sound on. There we go. All right, that's all I got for you, Kimberly. That's good. This is good stuff. Okay, well, what we're going to do here, we may close up just a little bit early, but I do want to open up for a couple minutes of maybe questions here. But what I want to know from you is, after today, after looking at some of these ads we walked through, we're looking at intent versus intrigue, cleverness, and clarity. If you're looking at these and we look at some of these ads, what's something that you're like, I'm taking this away and I'm gonna tweak my ads with this? Like, what's one takeaway for you? Drop that in the chat. What's something you're gonna try out or maybe go tweak on your existing ads? Drop that in the chat, and then we'll kind of close out with some questions if you have any. Before we move, we kind of peace out.
Rock and roll. Well, as far as right now, I just I'm thinking about, I have a son James who's like 2 years old, and I keep thinking about Book and Bear. I'm like, I think it's time. We gotta get him rolling and get this thing because it's such a cool product. It's super unique. But yeah, Kimberly, I'm gonna get it started. I think she has different tiers for the age brackets as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, a lot of good comments today, but I'm not seeing any questions roll in as of yet.
Awesome. Yeah, Emma, more videos. Yeah, and it depends on the product too. I was just on a podcast right before this, and we were talking about videos versus images. And I would say that by and large, I actually see images for most do better unless your product has this educational curve to it. So for example, with Book and Bear, it's a build your own stuffed animal. And it's kind of hard to portray a build your own stuffed animal versus just, if you showed a stuffed animal, they might just think, oh, I'm just buying a pre-stuffed animal, but they actually get to build their own. And so videos kind of help elaborate that a little bit more. So it creates a greater degree of intent. So they know exactly what that is, or a greater degree of clarity, I'm sorry. So it just kind of depends on the product for sure. I would say right now the trend that I see is I see images by and large doing better than videos. I would say the minority that do well are videos. I'd say about like 20 to 30% do really well with videos. And then I'd say most accounts, and I'm in like 20 to 30 a week, images are the best performers.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. It says I engrave photos onto jewelry, so I'm gonna do a video of the product with the before photo and stuck to it, and that has been engraved onto the necklace. And you said you meet with Emma actually today?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm right after
Cool.
this.
Rock and roll. Let's dive in.
Cool.
Let's see, Cassandra. I'm going to put an ad out there that shows the product right away. I have an ad right now, but using the AI audience that has generated over 30K since January 1st.
Yay.
But it is grueling. It is a grueling 6 minutes long and doesn't show the product for like a whole minute into that.
Yeah.
Thanks for your time and insight.
Yeah, and
Josh.
Cassandra, for yours is a little educational too. So here's what I would consider. So if anyone here has like video and you're like, hey, maybe my video doesn't get to the point quick enough. Here's the best thing you could do. Keep your whole video and then go to a portion of the video where you're showing the product, you pull it out for Cassandra, for you kind of pop it up and like you show the product really easily. There's some point in the video where you show the product. So go to that section of the video, snip it out 10 seconds of it, throw it to the front of your main video, right? And then do a little voiceover to it or just keep it as is. And then that way, so for you, like, boom, they have the cars, or they pop it up, they put the car seat in there. I believe it's a car seat, if don't quote me on that. Right in there, and then it goes straight into the video, right? So you could do the same thing, just use what you already have, just take another snippet and throw it up front. One of the examples that I was gonna use, but for time's sake, I decided not to get into it, is Project Life, Mike with Project Life. It's a subscription, it's a tea. And so he took all of his videos and he took different sections of the testimonials throughout the videos and he just threw like 10 different ones in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the video. He just decided which testimonial and which video person am I gonna snippet am I gonna put in front, and then he found the one that worked and then he just ran with it. So it's a way to use the assets you already have and just tweak them slightly. Sideways. Side note. Side note here. Hey, if any of you are like, hey, who the heck is the Ecommerce Alley? I joined this group. Maybe I got a training. Maybe I saw you on YouTube or podcast or something like that. And you want to know, like, what do you guys do? And could I work with you? What does that look like? So what we do, we specialize in helping direct-to-consumer e-commerce businesses that sell physical products, whether it's subscription box, it's jewelry, it's camp corrals, it's high ticket, it's low ticket, and we teach frameworks to grow. It's really built, our program that we teach in it is called the Max Profits Mentorship. It's like, hey, how do you go from 0 to $1 million or wherever you're at to $1 million run rate as quickly as possible? And we have systems and frameworks to doing that. Most e-commerce businesses have inconsistent sales, they have little profit, and because of that, they are wildly burned out. And so we teach you systems to get consistent sales, to maximize your profit and your lifetime value, and then how to lead and remain focused and scaling as an entrepreneur when you're not burned out, so you could build this business that creates a great degree of freedom. So if you're ever like, hey, that sounds like something I'd be interested in learning and having Josh at my table and being able to optimize and look through these things with me in a more intimate setting with another community of people, much smaller community of people that are also doing the same thing, then it's called the Max Profits Mentorship. I'm a little biased, but it's probably the best coaching program on the planet with training and courses and all this stuff, and it's updated and the templates that you need. So if you're ever like, hey, I'm interested in that, I'll have our team just drop the link. If you wanna check it out, we have a link to it, the Max Profits Mentorship. They'll drop the link. Click on that, check it out. If you're interested, you could apply, and then we'll kind of look at your stuff, talk to you and say, hey, does this really make sense for where you're at? Yay, nay, and if not, what would we do if we were you? Like, what were the next steps? What tools and what trainings could we give you? So, yeah, anyway.
Awesome. Any
final things? I do see we got a replay in here by Scott. Heck yeah. Is that the Scott Wynn that I was just texting this morning?
Not sure.
From Merch Cult.
And then we have Shauna White chuckles at wildly burned out. Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, everyone, we appreciate you. Podcast dropping on Monday is super awesome. I would listen to it if I were you. Hey, it's just me. The Ecommerce Alley Podcast, go check that out on audio as well as on YouTube. But other than that, we appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week right back here. Bye.
See ya.